6 members of the team were given debuts in the semi-final against Waterford, and the selectors have opted for a no-change policy. Donald Cusack is in goal. It's under-21 star Diarmuid O'Sullivan at full-back, while the real inspiration at the back for Cork is Brian Corcoran. Mickey O'Connell and captain Mark Landers are based in midfield, while in the forwards, look out for Timmy McCarthy and Joe Dean, plus an improved showing from Shawnee McGrath. Well, what an atmosphere there is here, and wherever Clare go nowadays, there's a huge level of support. Hurling may be essentially an East Clare game, but followers everywhere have got totally behind this highly talented squad, led by the Pied Piper himself, Ger Loughnane. Well, after a most complete performance against Tipperary in the replay, Clare opted to only tinker at the edges and only make one significant alteration. It's a full-back line of 2 Bryans and 2 Lowens. The usual half-back section, wonderfully effective, as is the midfield of Lynch and Baker. Jamesy O'Connor is out with a broken arm, and Ronan O'Hara comes in for just his 3rd championship engagement, alongside Enda Flannery, also playing in his 3rd. Agus inis, Áran a bhíonn. In the usual order there, with the national anthem played before the parade of the teams, and it really is a clash of the current masters of Munster hurling against the extremely young pretenders, heirs to a rich tradition. It's the 5th championship match of the 90s involving these counties, and Clare have a 100% record. They've won all 4. Last year at the semi-final stage, it was 21 points to 13. Cork, I suppose, coming closest in 95 when Clare got their measure by just a point that day. Jimmy Barry Murphy in charge since 1996. Well, of course, he thinks back to earlier clashes with Clare in the championship. 1988, for instance, was the last year of Cork's wins over Clare in the championship. 2 years previously, they met in Killarney. Jimmy Barry Murphy and Ger Loughnane played that day on opposite sides, of course, and Cork were rewarded with a victory. Clare's fans essentially at the Killinen end, but right over a half of the ground here. No tickets handed back from anywhere. Cork people wanted to see it. Clare fans, as ever, there to cheer on Anthony Daly from Clare Castle, their team captain. And it probably needs bearing in mind that Clare today play in a 6th Munster final in 7 years. No other county in the southern province can emulate that record. Of course, they're going for a 4th Munster title in the 90s. By comparison, Cork seek a first title in 7 years. They've also been absent from finals day since 1992. And only one player, Brian Corcoran, has a Munster Senior Winners' Medal. In comparison, Clare start this afternoon with 36 Munster Winners' Medals amassed by their starting formation. And that's quite a turnaround since Cork won the Munster and All-Ireland double back in 1990. The atmospheric conditions this afternoon, well, first of all, it's breezy insofar as the ball will be sweeping across towards the new stand, you may see, because the wind is blowing across in that direction. It's quite a strong breeze at that. Shawnee McGrath there, part of the Cork team this afternoon, and there you can see those flags there fluttering in the breeze. So many things to look out for this afternoon. So many people wanted to see this wonderful clash. And would just wonder about the Cork blackouts, for instance. Will McCormack drift right and left and take McMahon out of position. Will that be one of the tactics, possibly allowing the wing forwards in? Sean Ogo-Halpine from the Piershig there. A mention of half-backs. I wonder how Cork are going to try and break down that triangle of half-backs and Clare midfield, the best around. And how will Clare upset or attempt to upset the influence of Brian Corker in a centre half-back? Very much a huge influence for the Reds. Then there is, of course, that other talking point, the lightness of the Cork forwards. Joe Dean, Shawnee McGrath, Ben O'Connor, Niall Ronan. The tall men there really represented by Timmy McCarthy and Fergal McCormack. And of course it's a Clare side with very much a rotating forward line. There's hardly been a full forward in the strict sense of that since Tommy Guilfoyle, I suppose, back in 1994. But hurling tactics, well, they're evolving the whole time as we take another little look at the two teams for this afternoon. Cork unchanged, but don't be surprised if there are switches. I'm anticipating that. Niall Ronan, for instance, could go out onto the half-forward line, join Timmy McCarthy and Fergal McCormack. And it could be a full forward line which shows Joe Dean once again switched around, as happened, of course, when they played against Waterford and clocked up so many points and enjoyed a very fine victory. And this is the Clare side for the afternoon. Just one change in that, and that is the number 25, Ronan O'Hara, coming in for PJ O'Connell, who was selected, but guess what? Didn't get to play. And now a minute's silence here for that awful tragedy in Dungarvan earlier in the week. 4 members of the Air Corps who perished in that desperate tragedy. And everybody here, I think, will stand in silence and offer their condolences.
Sergeant Paddy Mooney, Corporal Niall Byrne, Captain Michael Baker and Captain Dave O'Flaherty. We extend sympathy to the bereaved of Squeamead, Solas na Vlahas, Donamachna na Marath.
Referee is Dickie Murphy. It's Clare who won the toss and up to play from right to left in the first half, and straight away it's Colin Lynch into the action. Ronan O'Hara has gone into full back, but that's broken away by Diarmuid O'Sullivan there. Switches on both teams. Tell you about them as the match unfolds here. I've noticed Alan Markham gone to left half forward for Clare, David Ford top of the right, Niall Gilligan in there, and Brian Corcoran tries to get that ball away for Cork. This is Enda Flannery, such an impressive first season in Championship hurling. A Clare team without Jamesy O'Connor. How will that affect them as Liam Doyle, having a tremendous year, plants this one in. O'Hara's after it, and it's gone wide. Best chance so far in the opening half minute. O'Hara was in after this long delivery from Liam Doyle, and the goalkeeper was down there to deny him options. Well, that was a real possibility. Came off the legs of the goalkeeper, and in the follow-up it went wide. Here's Timmy McCarthy, as anticipated, to try to take Sean McMahon out of position, allow McCarthy to come through with burst through the centre, but he stopped this time. Brian Quinn trying to get the ball away. Colin Lynch waiting for it. It's hand passed back there by Niall Ronan, operating in the half-forward line. Fergal McCormack on his knees. They tried to get the ball away. It's frantic in the early stages, as you anticipate. Landers trying to get it in. Here's Mickey O'Connell, the man who got 8 points, and he is fouled by Ollie Baker. Well, Ollie looks at the referee, but Dickie Murphy unimpressed with his pleas. This was Mickey O'Connell, and not much of a challenge there. Mickey was diving down. A look of disbelief on Ollie's face. Joe Dean has the free, and Cork can take the lead here. Dean playing in his 6th championship match. Fires it over the bar. the full forward in spite of the number 15 on his shirt, puts Cork in front. Joe Dean from Killa, that's the club of Mark Landers as well. Landers and O'Connell in midfield. Davy Fitzgerald with the puck out. Enda Flannery trying to make it his. O'Halpine going back. Flannery has it. Plays it in here beautifully. David Ford, 20 metres out, and that's going to be a free in. David Ford switching with Enda Flannery, and it's going to be a free in, and this is what happened just moments ago there, and David about to take it himself. David Ford in his 14th championship match puts it over the bar. You'd hardly expect him to miss for such a simple angle. It's all square here. Donal Og Cusack. He's had a couple of great years playing not just with his club Cloyne but his division Imokilly as well. This is dropped in here. And the shot has gone over the bar, and it's Mickey O'Connell. O'Connell from Middleton making a fine start. 4 attacks so far, 3 scores. 2 of them for Cork, and the latest from Mickey O'Connell. Well, here's a player who at one stage in the last 12 months was deemed surplus to requirements, but he fought his way back. Davy Fitzgerald from 6 Mile Bridge, today playing his 28th championship match. That was Mark Landers. Brian Corcoran towards Shawnee McGrath, being marked over there by Brian Quinn, who's gone across from right to left. McGrath has nobody to aim at. It's Anthony Daly instead. That's towards Niall Gilligan. Swept down there well by John Brown. Once again, it's Mickey O'Connell. Well, they'll really have to close him down. You saw his threat against Waterford. Cork trying to fight back. Try to get the ball back there for Ben O'Connor. McMahon's close to him. Good vision to pick out a player coming through from midfield. And the wonderfully informed Mickey O'Connell is in a second. It's 3 points for Cork. Clare with just 1 so far. Well, what a start this is for Cork's number 9, playing in just his 2nd championship match. But where was the marking? Very much deemed absent. That's batted down there by O'Connell. Timmy McCarthy trying to get the better there of Alan Markham. Technically, Markham is operating at left half forward, but the early pressure is being exerted by Cork. Well, the 2 linesmen this afternoon are 2 very experienced officials at this particular level. Pat Owen from Offaly and Pat Ahern from Carlow. Ahern on this near side. So in front of 53,000 hurling lovers, it's O'Connell who takes the sideline ball. Inside there towards Fergal McCormack. McCormack hitting it, mishitting it somewhat, and it ends up going wide. But a number of players chasing in after that one. Ben O'Connor was one of them. Dean was around as well. Fergal McCormack, who of course is a nephew of the great Kerry footballer Mick O'Connell. Well, already Ger Loughnane is pacing up and down the sideline here, I think concerned about a number of things that haven't gone quite right so far. Enda Flannery can't contain that one. This is Colin Lynch, did well to retain balance, retains control as well. Flannery, almost blocked there by Sean O'Halpine. Ronan O'Hara going back to challenge John Brown. O'Hara has broken his stick. That's Sean McMahon there. McCormack challenging. Back it comes once again. Here's Neil Ronan. Ronan from Ballyhay. Markham was chasing after him, but he couldn't catch him, and in any case the ball has gone wide. That's 2 wides now for Cork, but a lot of concern, I think, for Ger Loughnane. He's been saying that, well, he's been quoted at least as saying that if we don't win the Munster final, we're unlikely to win the All-Ireland. Both sides really want to win this. Clare to become the first Clare team ever to win 3 in a row in Munster. Cork to regain mastery in the province and win a first title since '92. So the incentive is enormous. Diarmuid O'Sullivan is coming out, but he was fouled. Ronan O'Hara then in at full forward. He's a Garda based in Douglas nowadays, in County Cork, of course. And Douglas is also the club of Ronan McCarthy, the Cork footballer. Diarmuid O'Sullivan from Cloyne, the village of Christy Ring. Jodine nicely ahead here towards Ben O'Connor. O'Connor being challenged by Brian Lohan. Lohan looked ill at ease against Paul Shelley in the first match. And this one has gone well to the right, down at the town end there of Central Stadium. That's where all the Cork fans are massed. And our reporter here with some information for us down at the sideline once again, it's Kieran Mullooly.
Very interesting role by Fergal McCormack, Ger. He's on the left half forward, or centre half forward on the Cork team, but he's going almost like James O'Connor, across and back the 40-yard line. A very interesting tactic by Cork.
Well, I think that's to get Sean McMahon out of position. But it's a very astute move as we watch David Ford challenged to where he's going to be hooked by Brian Corcoran. Corcoran wins it back, then was held. Well, that was lovely play by Brian Corcoran. He never panicked at any stage. You'd have favoured David Ford in this situation. But look at Corcoran, just used his stick work, very clever, very calm, very assured. Free to be taken by Diarmuid O'Sullivan, captain last year. Mickey O'Connell lets that one bounce off his leg, and it comes to Colin Lynch. Usually the man who inspires this Clare team. Oh, Donald Cusack hesitated, and Ronan O'Hara has put it over the bar. And he might have got a goal there. And he will be well aware of that. It's his first point, and it's 3 points to 2. But just a little bit of indecision by the Cork goalkeeper. They left it there for O'Hara, and the net was gaping. Well, the goal was there for the taking. This is a strongly built lad, and he's in there with a specific purpose to try and deny Diarmuid O'Sullivan. That's taken by Mark Landers. Ollie Baker's after him. Alan Markham is after him as well. In the end, there were too many steps taken. So the free goes against Mark Landers. And Ollie Baker has a little graze on the knee, I think, and Colin Flynn, the physio, is out to attend to him. It's the calf, in fact, that's causing the problem. One of the 3 players, current All-Stars, members of the St. Joseph's Dura Bearfield team, and this is another one of them, Sean McMahon. That's a huge one from McMahon, and that's gone over the bar. It's a great free by Sean McMahon, and the match level. Second time they've been level in the game. Well, people questioned about the freshness of players like Sean McMahon and, of course, Ollie Baker as well, having won the club championship back on St. Patrick's Day, defeating Rathmure. Now they're looking for another title, the Munster title. That was Colin Lynch going across to deny Mickey O'Connell, who made a good start, but O'Connell, I'm sure, will find that Lynch will be breathing down his neck time and again. And there was some holding there by Enda Flannery, dragging back Sean O'Halpine. This was where Flannery was holding his arm. No question about the referee's decision. Brian Corcoran. Dropped in towards Joe Dean. They're all pulling on it there. Neil Ronan was inside. So too is Brian Lohan. Looking for a good start to this match to boost his confidence. They wait for Daly. Swinging on it nicely. One back here again by O'Connor, steadying himself. And that's gone wide. 4 wides now for Cork. Mickey O'Connell, who got the 2 points earlier on in this match. You'll always know Mickey because the collar is always raised up around his neck. Again, there was nobody getting tight enough. Colin Lynch was arriving late. Just down to poor shooting that Cork didn't get another point. Mark Landers down towards Fergal McCormack. McMahon. Backs forward by Anthony Daly towards Ronan O'Hara. Again, they try to get a scoring chance here, but they're denied, and that's away by Wayne Sherlock. Sean McMahon. And this time, plenty of opportunities for the goalkeeper, Donald O'Cusick, to see it and to make his mind up on where he's going to deliver his puck. Landers leaves it there for Timmy McCarthy. Likes to run with the ball on his stick. And this time, he lobs it in towards Joe Dean. Dean in there, and who got the last touch? It was Brian Lowen, and it's gone for a 65. Just getting a little hot in there. Well, one hurling fan who's watching this and looking forward to a good game is Dick Tubridy from Newtown in the nursing home in Blackrock, and all his relations in Tulla send their best wishes. Davy Fitzgerald, scorer of that memorable penalty goal here in the Munster final in '95, and of course more recently in that game against Tipperary. Again, they're attending to Ollie Baker, so there's obviously a concern about the left leg. They're working hard on it as Mickey O'Connell takes the 65 and drives it over the bar, adding to his impressive tally. Just 1 1/4 games gone in Munster Championship for Mickey in his career, and he's got 11 points so far. Excellent shooting for a midfield player. Enda Flannery having difficulty keeping it away from Sean O'Halpine. Colin Lynch trying to get forward, still Lynch. Baker going in, left there in the end, swung across here towards Barry Murphy. Hasn't seen too much of the action so far, Barry Murphy. They won't see it here because his man Fergal Ryan has got it. Barry, incidentally, was at secondary school down in St. Coleman's at Fermoy, along with a whole lot of other players like Timmy McCarthy. This is Wayne Sherlock towards Joe Dean, still operating at full forward, trying to get across there, but that's great reading by his brother Frank Lowen covering for Brian, but only out as far as Timmy McCarthy, and that has gone towards the left and harmlessly wide. Some wild shooting now from time to time, but a lot of scoring chances being created by Cork. That's Timmy McCarthy from Castle Lyons, a very mild-mannered fellow. Scored 3 points in the match against Waterford. Pressure on the Cork half-back line. Wayne Sherlock, good ground hurling. Anthony Daly seizing on it quickly for Colin Lynch. Hard knocked down there by Brian Corcoran. Corcoran had started well, and look, he takes it back up again. A real colossus in the Cork colours. Brian Lowen, arguably the full-back of the 90s. That's towards Barry Murphy. It runs on towards David Ford. Brian Corcoran's coming across. They step inside there, and it's still David Ford stumbling, and he still managed to get a shot out, and he's put it over the bar. A second point for David Ford, and they're level once again. Clare 4, Cork 4, and that was all down to the really hard work and excellent balance here of David Ford as he skipped by Fergal Ryan and took his point. He really looked assured. He's a real tigerish corner forward or wing forward. As they say in Clare, he's a great bit of stop. That is in beyond Fergal McCormack. Timmy McCarthy has it. Liam Doyle chasing after him. And with Frank Lowen who came across. What a challenge. Now, what's the referee decide here? This was Timmy McCarthy. There was Frank Lowen going across. And it's a sideline ball. Excellent work by Frank Lowen. He's playing at right corner back in a switch with Brian Quinn. An exciting start to the match. Mickey O'Connell about to take this. Dropped in towards Dean. Getting there ahead of Liam Doyle. Looked like a trip there. Referee says play on. They tried to get that ball away. Up towards Enda Flannery. Challenged by Sean O'Halpine. So far, very little happening for the Clare half-forward line. And that's because of the really good work of Corcoran and O'Halpine in particular. Flannery, look at O'Halpine smothering his opponent almost. Frank Lowen with spectators on the far side, some of them wishing him well. some not so. Well, he's had a marvellous start. That's Brian Corker, and that's brilliantly taken down. They'll really have to get somebody to close Brian Corker because his influence is immense so far. Here's Joe Dean. Players running right and left of him. Brian Lohan still after him, and he beats Brian Lohan this time, but the presence of the big man, I think, just put Joe Dean off. Just 1 point so far in the match, that coming from a free. That, I think, was the first point of the match which Dean scored, but this latest opportunity wasn't easy, and credit there to Brian Lohan. Midway through the first half, Daly with Baker here. Brian Corcoran's chasing after him, but it's still Ollie Baker. This would be a fine score if he can make it, but he's just put it wide. Not a great deal in that, just 2 wides for Clare. Again, he's looking across towards the sideline there, and let's hope there isn't any great cause for concern about that calf injury. This was all about Baker. Brian Corcoran went back, couldn't get quite close enough to him, but the chance was spurned. This time the referee has showed his concern about an injury to Brian Corcoran here, still in this reprise, just limping away from that action. He's still limping, Brian Corcoran. Donald Cusack, the man who replaced Ger Cunningham. Ger played 49 championship matches for Cork. That's a nice pick up by Timmy McCarthy. Again, he likes to run at it. There are players around him ready to relieve him of possession. And one of them here is Shawnee McGrath, replaced in the match against Waterford. He wants a good start, and that's a fine shot, and it's over the bar. Shawnee McGrath from Glen Rovers, his first point, and Cork go in front by 5 points to 4. Well, he's always been a wonderful talent, hasn't always been able to show the consistency, however. David Fitzgerald's puck out, and this time it's Ollie Baker who's left virtually unmarked. Cork a little late to close him down, but close him down they do. And that's Neil Ronan, only straight as far as Liam Doyle. Doyle knocking this in towards Ronan O'Hara, had a goal chance earlier on. Here's a point opportunity, and Barry Murphy's racing in after it, and good catch there by Donald O'Cusack. And a good clearance by Cusack. Out it comes here to Mark Landers, gets it at the second attempt. And he's dragged down then by Alan Markham. Alan Markham looks a bit disgruntled as he goes away from there, but that was all a credit to the goalkeeper, who managed to spot Mark Landers free, at least momentarily free. So Mickey O'Connell, no particular hurry. And Alan Markham has done a little switch there. In the last couple of minutes, Niall Gilligan's come out into the half line as O'Connell strikes this one, but he strikes it left. So another costly wide, it could be at least. That's 7 now in all for the team in red. Davy Fitzgerald's puck out, in over Brian Corcoran this time, but the Halpine was anticipating, went across to cover for him. And this is the wing back, Wayne Sherlock. Shawnee McGrath appreciating he was very near the sideline. He'll feel his luck just wasn't in there, because good appreciation of his own positioning. And Pat Ahern, the linesman, I think got it right there. It was a good decision. Anthony Daly from Clare Castle. Nice strike. And again it's Brian Corcoran, the Erin's zone man. They chase after him. It's David Ford who's on at this stage. That's beyond Frank Lohan. Brian Lohan, quick adjustment of his footing there. First touch not great, but second time of asking, he's away with it. The playing surface here is absolutely first rate. Best hurling field in Ireland without a shadow of a doubt. Wayne Sherlock, and Sherlock goes down injured as he plays that ball away. Daly, Clare get it back. Ollie Baker is 65 metres out, and he's put it well to the right, and there will be attention required for Wayne Sherlock. It'll be a puck out for Cork, and the referee is going in to check with his umpires. And Markham, I think, just made contact with him. He's a little bit fired up at the moment, Alan Markham. Markham from Kilmaley. May have just connected with him, and over went Sherlock. But not a great deal in it. As we go down to the sideline once again to Kieran Mullooly.
I think you summed it up pretty well, Gerard. No doubt about it, that Wayne Sherlock certainly was struck by Alan Markham. Little late, and then there was an altercation between Markham and one of the other Cork defenders, John Brown, the number 4.
Well, the referee has gone into his umpires. They had a good view of it, and he has booked Alan Markham. So it's a yellow card issued by Dickie Murphy. This time it's lobbed from the puck out there towards Neil Ronan, but this time it's won by Liam Doyle. Switch of direction across towards Barry Murphy, now playing at top of the right. Fergal Ryan's gone across to cover with him, by the way. That's a lovely turn by Ben O'Connor. Young Clare. Got a couple of run-outs in the league. This is his first championship season, in towards Joe Dean. And Dean is pushed, the referee says. A look of injured innocence on the face of Brian Lohan. That's Sean O'Leary, who is one of the selectors' backroom men there, Dr. Con Murphy, and of course Jimmy Barry Murphy as well. And they've brought this young man from Newton Chandram, Ben O'Connor, into their side. Frank Lohan was racing after him here. The referee says there was unfair contact, so it's Joe Dean who has this 20-metre free, and he makes no mistake. A second point then for Joe Dean, both of them coming from frees, and it's 6 points to 4 and 12 minutes to go to half-time. Joe with a little facial injury there that may require a stitch before the start of the second half, as we'll have some more news from the sideline in just a moment. But first of all, it's Brian Corcoran back down towards Ben O'Connor, stopped here by Frank Lohan. Fast and furious, as you anticipated in the Munster final, the Guinness Munster Hurling Championship. Both sides, of course, going through to the next phase, but nobody worries about that. Victory is imperative at this stage. Enda Flannery trying to get that ball forward. Niall Gilligan's over there as well, and the referee may throw the ball in, so time now to go down to Kieran Mullooly.
Brian Corcoran's dominance certainly causing problems, Ger Loughnane has now moved Niall Gilligan to the 40 to Markham. Yes,
interesting that they should have brought the big tall man Gilligan onto the 40 just to try and deny Brian Corcoran. So Sean O'Halpine contesting this one with Enda Flannery. Runs on here towards Barry Murphy. And Barry Murphy made enough of an angle but couldn't quite direct it on. He looks a little more than a little disappointed. Greatly disappointed. Well, this is where he went out into the wing there towards Barry Murphy. Barry from Scariff. Made a big name for himself at club level in Clare a couple of years ago when Scariff reached the county final. That's tapped back out there by Sean McManus, if anything operating across towards a right half-back position, still following Fergal McCormack. The tactics by Cork, very simply, get Sean McMahon out of the centre whenever possible. That's Mickey O'Connell, and Enda Flannery was tumbling over him. Foul committed on Mickey, however, just before that. This free is just inside the 65-metre line. Well, he catches it well. Now, where does it end up? It ends up floating between the posts. Another point for Mickey O'Connell. Is he going to replicate his semi-final performance? He's now got 4 points in this match. 2 from play, 1 from a 65, and 1 from another free here. This is the latest, and Cork lead by 3. It's 7 points to 4. Clare trying to discover that kind of marvellous mastery that they showed in the replay against Tipperary. It's been a little absent from time to time in this match. In fact, a good deal of the time. We were wondering which of the two Clare teams we might see this afternoon. The Clare that drew with Tip only just when they really should have lost that day, or the team that absolutely overwhelmed Tipperary in the replay. So far it's the former. Here's McGrath. And what's he got? He's got a wide. That's what he's got. Angle not the greatest for Shawnee McGrath. Shawnee operating at top of the right. Joe Dean full forward. And even as we speak, Cork thinking about freshening up their forward line. It's an opportunity once again to look at this latest chance falling to Shawnee McGrath. Shawnee Murphy, an All-Star nominee a few years ago. Ger Loughnane, I'm sure, will be hoping that his side can edge closer just before half-time. Now Gilligan on Brian Corcoran. And that seemed to be Alan Markham who was tripped. The chance comes off the post, and it's now Gilligan who gets it. His first point, and it's now 7 points to 5. Niall won an All-Ireland club medal a couple of years ago in the colours of 6 Mile Bridge. Clare, of course, have been so dominant at club level, and this is where Gilligan profited as Markham went to ground. Touchdown there by Colin Lynch. Well, there was a one-handed attempted pass there by Mickey O'Connell, which didn't quite come off. He needed Wayne Sherlock to come in, but it falls to David Ford, looking for a man who was loose, and Colin Lynch was. He just couldn't quite reach him. Now it's Ollie Baker for the Munster champions. For the team that many people felt might well have won last year's All-Ireland, but didn't do so. So Colin Lynch in no particular hurry. Man of the match against Tipperary. 4 points, 4 attempts on goal as well. Couple of contrasting seasons for Colin. This is a good ball in. Goals down from Diarmuid O'Sullivan's hand. Out once again towards Ben O'Connor. Towards Neil Ronan. Opening up his shoulders, and that's a huge one. Neil Ronan. Well, Mickey O'Connell may have got 4 points, but now 3 of the players in the forwards have got on the sheet. And Neil Ronan is the latest. Wearing number 14, playing left half forward. The puck out is batted down by Wayne Sherlock. Quick adjustment of positioning here by Mark Landers, the East Cork man. Down towards Shonny McGraw, but taken one-handed away, and swept away one-handed as well by Daly. Towards Colin Lynch, hand pass back. Liam Doyle into space, nobody waited for it there except Mark Landers. Now Anthony Daly, quick look over his shoulder to see where Timmy McCarthy was. In towards O'Hara, broken down towards Barry Murphy, couldn't hit it instinctively. And the Clare forward just trying to get an opening, but instead it's Diarmuid O'Sullivan. The under-21 player played against Limerick just about 10 days ago. Neil Ronan, intended for Mickey O'Connell, taken instead by Sean McMahon. The pass into space, beyond Sherlock, beyond Markham. Stopped there by John Brown, blocked down by Markham. Did he touch it on the ground? And the crowd are certainly of the view that he did, but it comes back to him and he's put it over the bar. Alan Markham may have been booked in this match already. Maybe a little fortunate there, but he gets his first point, and it's 8 points to 6. Alan Markham, of course, is a cousin of Sean McMahon, who was involved in starting all of that. Now, the ball was on the ground there, and as it came back up, there's a Cork view down here among their fans, it seems, that he may have touched it on the ground. Referee not interested. Brian Quinn, lovely player, very tidy and efficient. A block down there by Neil Ronan. Back to Quinn once again. A real big-hearted player. Up towards Markham. It breaks away off the stick of John Brown. Out towards Sean O'Halpine. O'Halpine has been a DCU student. Gets away here momentarily from Colin Lynch, but Lynch is a very dogged performer, and he'll stick to the task there alongside Enda Flannery. The youngster Enda Flannery there, beating the other number 11, Fergal McCormack. In towards Ronan. This time it's taken, however, by Diarmuid O'Sullivan. Beyond Sean O'Halpine. Enda Flannery has the chance here. Inside low, beyond Ford. In towards Alan Markham, and the referee noted the foul there by John Brown. Free in to Clare. So now there should just be a point between the teams after this. 3.5 minutes go to half time, and that's where John Brown is deemed to have committed the foul on Alan Markham. Well, the player who will take it is going to be David Ford. And he's just got his 3rd point of the first half. 2 of them have come from frees. And it's now Cork 8, Clare 7. So now can either side take something of a decent lead into the dressing rooms at half-time? Jimmy Barry there, looking on, having put his trust and his faith in a very young team. As I say, 14 of them playing in a first Munster final. That's Fergal McCormack. McGrath got back, and it's Dean! Minutes are gone, but the question now that Clare will ask is, where was Joe Dean as that ball came back in from Shawnee McGrath? It was a real speculative one. Little seemed on. Fergal McCormack walloped it, and this is where it ended up, with Dean inside there, and they'll protest about that. Well, Shawnee McGrath did really well. Dean was in there, but the ball was coming back towards him. So now a body blow to Clare. This is Fergal Ryan. McGrath. Well, how did he keep that ball in play? And I'm sure people are going to say, was the ball actually going wide at the time he played it over? Here's Ben O'Connor. Sean McMahon questioning the referee's call here, but this was the goal again. Now watch for Shawnee McGrath. Was he still in the field of play? And what about Dean's positioning? Lots of smiles there up on the town end, where the Cork followers have been fortunate enough to get those priceless tickets to come here to the Munster final. The champions are being led. Mickey O'Connell with this latest free. And Mickey O'Connell has put it over the bar for his 5th point of the first half. 1-9 for Cork, 7 points for Clare, but the champions aren't champions for nothing. Well, let's go down for some more news now to Kieran Mullooly.
And it's more bad news for Clare. Ollie Baker's been down again, Ger. He looks that left leg is looking very bad, and he may be leaving us at half-time.
Oh, that would be a huge loss for Clare. Possibly Enda Flannery might go to midfield if that were to transpire, as Alan Markham lobs it in here. They're all after it. And it comes out in the end to Mark Landers, is taking up a lot of very deep positions, playing sometimes just in front of his own half-back line, sometimes behind them. Here's McCormack, chasing after it was Sean McMahon. He loses it, beautifully tipped away. Comes to Shawnee McGrath, and McGrath, simple as you like, puts it over the bar. A second point for Shawnee McGrath, and Cork have had a very good first half, and they now have a 6-point lead. But the second half still to be played here, but there are some worrying signs for the champions. McMahon here was beaten for pace, but they managed to get it away in the end before Fergal McCormack had a shot. Cork have created 19 chances, Clare have created 13 chances, but the significance of it all is that Cork have 11 scores, Clare 7, and the Munster champions are going to have a lot to do to hold on to their title in Semple Stadium. Many important decisions will have to be made. Joe Dean's goal came after 32 minutes. And at half-time in Semple Stadium in Thurles, it's Cork 110, Clare 7 points. And let's go back to the studio and Michael.
Yes, well, definitely Cork in the ascendancy in that first half, but of course they will be very mindful of what happened in the game between Tip and Clare earlier on in the summer. Now, news from Tuam and that replay between the All-Ireland football champions Galway and Sligo. The final result in Tuam was Galway 117, Sligo 7 points. OK, we take a break at this point. We're back after that with the panel's analysis of what they've seen in that first half from Thurles.
And actually turning him and running towards goal, which puts undue pressure on their half-back line. And in midfield, Mark Landers has played very, very well. Mickey O'Connell himself has played very well. And they got off to a terrific start. And Mickey O'Connell typifies what he did so well the last day, is running onto breaking ball. Key position, midfield. Sometimes you see players running up and down the field like headless chickens. Mickey holds his position very, very well. Watches for the breaking ball. And that's a great start for him. He's picked up where he left off the last day, as I said. And there were great bonus points for Cork in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, I should have picked up on the statistics there, by the way, which came up briefly on the screen. Perhaps we might take a look at those again. I should have gone to them before I spoke to Moss. And here are the statistics. The first one up that you will see will be the score, and as I said, that certainly shows that Cork have the advantage at half-time, leading by 110 to Clare's 7 points. 8 frees for Cork in the first half against Clare's 3. 8 wides for Cork, mind you, as well. They certainly had the better of the play, but also the better of the wides, if you like. 165, and that 1 yellow card in the game so far against Alan Markham, the Clare corner forward. Cyril, we saw very little of a couple of the Cork stars in the first half. We'd say like Joe Dean and Sean McGrath, but they proved that when they got a chance at all, the speed they could get in there.
Yeah, Sean McGrath say wouldn't have a great game the last against Waterford, but he's a fantastic or a lovely first touch. Now straight away Jim Barry has a moved in corner forward, and like he did it last year against Clare from there, and again you're going to see here, once any little chance he gets, like the wrist, you know, he's very, very accurate, has a little, you know, you feel safe putting 100 pound on him here, just as look up, flick, beautiful shot over the bar. Like on any chance, any unbroken play, he's going to do that the whole time. He's capable of, you know, like skinning fellas really, even though he's playing very deep as such, but he's having, all the Cork forwards are capable of doing that. They haven't done, let's say, minor runs, and they're very, very risky. And at the moment, they are on top.
Well, the goal the Cork got just before half-time, certainly on the scoreline, it sort of gave some indication of the dominance they had. But was the goal legal to Moss, I wonder?
Well, I suppose when you look at it again, there's probably question marks about Joe Dean, whether he's in the square. But like, as far as McCormick turns around, everybody thinks the ball is going wide, but give credit to Shawnee McGrath, doesn't let it go and knocks it back across the square. It looked as if Joe is in the position of the square at the time, but as we see Shawnee McGrath knocking the ball back, Joe doesn't come into the picture until very, very late. And again, you see it here coming in. Now you see him in the square, but from when Shawnee connected with the ball first day, he seemed to be running back into the square at that stage. If it was to be a square ball, you have 2 umpires again, right on position, that must make a decision like that. But it justified Cork's performance in the first half. They need to put more scores on the board because they had a fair few wides, and Clare kept battling away, and there was only 2 points in it at that stage, but the goal has put a bit of light between the teams. Okay, all right, now just another reminder about the game on Monday tomorrow evening in Pat Spillan's Monday feedback slot. Now your views are welcome on the following numbers: 1850 200 620, that's the number to ring, and by the way, if you're calling from Northern Ireland, it's 0845 309 8117. Now those phone lines will be open at 7 o'clock this evening, and they will remain open until 11 o'clock tonight. Also that email number, that, by the way, that you can contact him there at. Now, back after this commercial break with more about this Munster hurling final.
The ball was not wide. The ball was not wide. He gets a one-handed flick to it. It's an art in itself. Now, Shawnee has already picked 2 points from play. So like, he'll be very happy with the first half. He gets a flick to it back across. Now, if you look across to the back of the picture, Joe Dean is already running in anticipation that the ball will come back. Now, by the time he has started from outside, he's just on the square there. By the time it comes back, he's probably in it. But he has started from way behind it. Here, the flick going back here actually goes across the square again. And here, Joe Dean wind up in front of, you know, going inside the full back and in front of the goalie. A good goal. Now, of course, it'll be debatable, but yet the 2 umpires are there. You know, it's kind of 50-50. But just look at it again. He gets the flick to it all right, one-handed. No problem.
He's definitely in the square, though.
He's definitely in the square there now, just beside it. Which is, you know, it's kind of a 50-50 call. But even though probably the Clare backs will be kind of giving out to themselves there, the 6 points at half-time does justice to Cork because they're well on top in the first half, and Clare, it's going to take a big effort from Clare to come back under it because the Cork half-back line of, okay, expected Brian Cochran centre-back, but Wayne Sherlock are now helping completely on top. Landers is going deep, helping out the defence, and Mickey O'Connell is holding the middle. That 5 are on top, and they're like, you know, while they're on top, Cork forwards are always going to pick enough scores like to keep them in front.
Okay, Clare are back out on the pitch. Tomás, can Cork do it? Can they hold on?
Certainly so, I hope so. They've rattled Clare, I think, you know, and tactically maybe Clare have got it wrong in that first half with a few of the switches they've made, bringing in the Flannery out to half forward, where he's played very well midfield and centre forward. So they've got to change the tactics in the second half there to win this game.
Certainly Cork have matched Clare in that first half, and their intensity for the game and their hunger for the game. You talked about the high-octane performance of Clare before the match, but surely Cork gave that as well.
Yeah, and I would think this Munster final means more to Cork than to anyone. I know Clare want to win it, and even say going into the Leinster final after Kilkenny, it means more to Cork. They've been out for so long. The hype is, you know, is unbelievable, and like even the young people going to is unbelievable. They're a young side, like, and if they can keep that concentration on the ball and keep tapping over the few points, there's no reason why they shouldn't win. Now Clare aren't champions for being, you know, for being slouches. They're going to tear into the second half, but they'll have to change up front.
All right, will they change up front? What can they do about this? We're going to find out in the next 35 minutes. Let's go back again to Ger.
Thank you very much indeed, Michael. Now, there has been a change made by... And straight away it's Frank Lowen thundering downfield with this. They're chasing after him. To Colin Lynch, not an easy ball to take. That's towards Danny Baker. or Danny Scanlon, I should say. Danny Scanlon trying to get the better there of Wayne Sherlock with a very good first half. This is Niall Gilligan. Wanted to give Clare the best possible start to the second half, and he's done exactly that. It's a great point, a real rallying score by Niall Gilligan. His second point of the match. Remember now he's on Brian Corcoran. He's had 2 shots at goal and he has converted both. That's a better start now for Ger Loughnane's team. 110 to 8 points. First of the provincial finals. Next Sunday, live on this station once again, it will be the Leinster final as Frank Lohan gets that one away. Out here to the man who's come in for the second half, Danny Scanlon. And Barry Murphy not enjoying much luck yet against John Brown. Gilligan fires it back there. And that is Ollie Baker. And that's a super start to the second half. Real encouraging stuff now from the Munster champions. They were behind by 6 points at the break. And now all of a sudden 2 attacks inside about a minute and a half. And they're now within 4 points of Cork. Well, as Cyril was saying, it may mean more to Cork to win this particular Munster Championship, but the champions are going to hold on to their title if they can at all. They will fight every inch of the way. Markham just running out of space over there, but it's going to be a Clare sideline ball. And Ollie Baker, about whom there was a concern just before the break, going over to take this one. Another player who went in at the break, by the way, and I was kind of wondering whether he might come out for the second half, was PJ O'Connell. They're holding him in reserve. Baker, could he possibly swing this one over the bar? 50 metres out. No, he's bluffed it rather badly. And Alan Markham, with Mark Landers wondering was there a foul? There wasn't, and Ollie Baker takes it back, and Ollie puts it over the bar once again. If you had written Clare off at half-time, you had done so at your peril. Only a goal between the teams. That goal by Joe Dean after 32 minutes. Well, all of this coming from that poorly hit sideline ball by Ollie Baker. And he more than made amends. Donald O'Cusack with the puck out. Are Clare about to take a firm grip on this match? Baker down to David Ford, now at right half forward. Barry Murphy is in the corner. Ronan O'Hara, the Cork-based Garda, getting it as far as Barry Murphy. And as I say, went to school in Fermoy in St. Coleman's. Played on their Harty Cup team as well. And that has, in the umpire's opinion, gone wide. But the referee is going in, and I think he's blowing for a free to Clare. And he's given the 65 and overruling his umpire. Dickie Murphy believing he had a better view of that than the umpire. This was Barry Murphy. Took several steps before getting it up onto his hurley. The resultant 65 by Sean McMahon has gone to the left. McMahon has been dragged out of position in this game. Here he is now, effectively the right half-back. He's going everywhere and anywhere, but Fergal McCormack takes him. Good tactics by Cork, I think, to try and open up this marvellous Clare half-back line. But they've shown in the past a wonderful capacity to vary their play, to be resilient and versatile. Just listen to the noise the crowd is making here. Fantastic. Liam Doyle trying to get it away from danger. Here's Colin Lynch, chased there by Neil Ronan. That's missed there by Fergal Ryan. Another possible chance for Clare, but Diarmuid O'Sullivan looking at the linesman, expecting the decision to go Cork's way. It doesn't. Clare thought about a quick sideline ball there involving Alan Markham, but they decided to just be a little bit patient. And once again, Ollie Baker's brought forward. Well, he mishit the last one, but now this one's a great deal nearer the target. As you see, 110 to 10 points. 5 minutes into the second half. Driven in low, beyond everybody. O'Hara tried to take it, and the umpire has a right good look at it once again. Diarmuid O'Sullivan looks commanding, but that's not a great clearance. Only as far as Baker had moved in field. 45 metres out, and Baker has put it wide. It was a chance. Well, it's unusual for a championship match to begin at 4:20 in the afternoon. But the crowd, I think, are enjoying every minute of it, young and old alike. With a very good minor match before this, Tipperary came good, beating Clare by 3 points. That's touched down by Liam Doyle. Danny Scanlon trying to get into the match, appreciating that Sherlock Down and his selectors won't leave somebody on the field, having come off the bench if they're not successful for much longer than about 10-15 minutes. That final shot was by Wayne Sherlock, one of the Black Rock men. Black Rock haven't won the title in Cork for quite a number of years, but there are 3 members of the Black Rock team in the Cork defence this afternoon. Davy Fitzgerald pucking this one out, a big long one down towards Alan Markham. Niall Gilligan. Brian Corcoran has just gotten the helmet, and it's still Gilligan, and the referee, that was a ferocious shot, but it's not going to count in any case because the referee was back there and he signalled it's going to be a free out for Cork. And it was for taking too many steps on the part of Niall Gilligan. Chased the whole time by Brian Corcoran. Well, this was where the referee had to whistle just before all the little balancing act there by Niall Gilligan. Yes, lots of steps were taken. Diarmuid O'Sullivan has come out from full-back to take the free. Towards Timmy McCarthy. That's a fine catch by McCarthy. Daly's chasing after him. The hand pass here to McCormack, and McCormack puts it over the bar. That's Cork's first score of the second half. A first also for Fergal McCormack. 111 to 10 points. Well, good work here by Timmy McCarthy. It's a great catch. And I think he's been coached not to just carry it on and run and run and run forever, but to spot players who are up in support, like McCormack. Cork with an injured player. Timmy McCarthy, who made that fine run, must just run through the heart of the Clare defence. Back on his feet once again. Well, he's trying to make the most of the opportunity that Jimmy Barry Murphy and the selectors have given him this year to come in. This time, Clare are doing a bit better on the half-forward line. And here's Danny Scanlon with a chance to Barry Murphy. And that has... Well, they're arguing. The umpire says a point. Barry Murphy gets his first, and a goal between them again. It was one of those points that the backs were in there arguing furiously with the umpires about. So now, 5 members of the Clare attack that started have got themselves a score, or at least one score. There's Danny Scanlon, the new man to join the attack. Number Enda Flannery is back, marking Ben O'Connor, back at right corner back. O'Halpy needs support. Up towards Neil Ronan. Liam Doyle has effectively been asked to play so much of this match as the centre half-back as Cork drag their men right and centre. That's Frank Lowe, and it's a mighty clearance, but only down as far as Fergal Ryan. Wonderful sport here in Semple Stadium this afternoon. Great artistry. Lots of tough physical battles as well. Great support play. Great scores. Here's Colin Lynch for the champions. They look to edge nearer, and Lynch has driven it over the bar. A wonderful score by Colin Lynch from Lizzie Casey. Cork's lead now is down to 2 points. Cork with just 1 point in the second half, which is nearly 10 minutes old. It's been mostly Clare. Well, whatever Gerlach now had to say at half-time, he's down along the sideline, pacing there, clenching his fist from time to time. The great man who has led them to so much success. They're going for 3 in a row in Munster. It's never been done by Clare before. Cork looking for a first Munster title since 1992. Many people, when this Cork team was picked for the Waterford game, felt perhaps it's a team to give experience to this year, and maybe next year might be their year. Clare, the favourites. Batted down there by Wayne Sherlock. Pressure once again here on the back line, and it's Fergal Ryan assisting Brian Corcoran, expecting the challenge to come in. The hoop there from Barry Murphy. He still can't get it away, Ryan. Great play by Barry Murphy, but it's freed in as far as Mark Landers. And Cork now at the stage where they need a couple of settling down scores, but this one doesn't come. It's now a 10th wide for Cork. Clare are trying to turn this match around. Alan Markham was given yards there by Fergal Ryan. And a great block down by Ryan, but Markham is a tenacious character. Back up quickly, but he's driven it wide. Oh, it's a furious battle. The fans are getting involved all over the field. This is where Markham was given an opportunity, but what about that for a block down? And then the piece of quick thinking by Alan Markham. This is towards Fergal McCormack. Really, he is left half forward, and McMahon still continues to be well out of position. Daly's gone into the central role just now. Into Flannery, blocked down by Ben O'Connor. Flannery once again got experience in the league of playing at right corner back. That's down in towards the half-forward line once again. Alan Markham, Brian Corcoran's there. Niall Gilligan tries to get it up onto his stick. It's back with Wayne Sherlock once again, really distinguishing himself this afternoon. Back down it comes to Neil Ronan. Timmy McCarthy. McCarthy has space in the centre. Even when he slips, he manages to play that ball in, but not with accuracy. Still, it was all down to his hard work there that the chance was created. Anthony Daly is just having a little duck there with Liam Doyle in the half-back line as we look at this once more. And I think Daly is saying to Doyle, you go back into the centre. But it's a tactic which Cork are using to try and confuse the Clare men. Sean O'Halpy. Broken down there by McMahon. Here's Liam Doyle, a great hurler. Over towards Alan Markham. And Ryan gets there first. No nonsense play. Whipping it away. Neil Ronan near the sideline. That'll be Clare's. Well, there really is wonderful pace to the match. Great sportsmanship as well. No real issues to be settled in recent times between any of the players, so they're giving us their very best. And how about that? Wonderful from Doyle. Daly runs down there towards David Ford. Brian Corcoran trying to bottle him up, but since Gilligan has gone on to Brian Corcoran, it's noticeable that his influence isn't as great. Here's Timmy McCarthy slipping by the cover. Frank Lohan racing back, hooking, and Lohan does really well. And Daly, cool as you like, knocks it away downfield. Sheer artistry, wonderful sport. Ollie Baker, and that's away by John Brown. Well, this was Timmy McCarthy, and first of all there was Daly, and then there was Frank Lohan, and then there was that smashing hook, and a lovely steal by Clare. Baker, inside towards Ford, gets by Brian Corcoran. Well, have Cork now got the pace to maintain the effort of the first half? That'll be one of the questions which will be answered over the next 15 minutes. Doyle. Nicely away towards Baker. Wayne Sherlock arriving. Baker is a strong fellow. The strength of Clare might be evident, but Baker's gone down with an injury. Scanlon knocks it in and puts it over the bar. Danny Scanlon scores for Clare, but now you wonder at what cost, because Ollie Baker has gone down in a heap injured. This was where he played that ball in, worked really hard to get it as far as Danny Scanlon, and now the gap is down to just a point. This was where Ollie Baker went across here now. He was coming in trying to brush aside Wayne Sherlock, and that's where the leg gave way. And it's now Cork 111, Clare 13 points. And let's go down to Kieran Mullooly once again for some news.
John Redden is the player substitute warming up at the moment, but look also Ger, for changes on the Cork side. Jimmy Barry Murphy has been talking to selectors for the last 5 or 6 minutes. 2 subs warming up there. Alan Brown, one of them could be coming into the game shortly.
Alan Brown would go into the forward line, of course, add a bit of strength and muscle in there, because they've only managed to produce 1 point in the second half, which is 15, nearly 16 minutes old. So Jimmy wants to ring the changes, but there's greater concern on the Clare side for Ollie Baker, already without Jamesy O'Connor. John Redden, we heard, was going to be the player who would come in. John, another one of the 6 Mile Bridge contingent. It was just a piece of misfortune on Ollie Baker's part, but he had this injury since the first half, and now, very sadly, they have to assist him off the field. Redden is in. Match goes on. But Clare have turned it around splendidly. Brian Corcoran lets it run by. O'Halpine is covering wonderfully well, anticipating the whole time. Good striking. There's Daly. Loves these contests. Mickey O'Connell batting it back down towards Fergal McCormack. Stopped there by Sean McMahon. And that time the referee is going to call aside the new man in. John Redden was spoken to there by the referee, and maybe Colin Lynch was closest. Let's have a little look at this again. Yes, Lynch was the one who manages to entrap the Cork man. Well, Pat Ryan has gone in for Cork, and Mark Landers, the midfielder, is off. Cork trying to swing it around in midfield. They have a free. Mickey O'Connell is about 60 metres out. Beautifully sunny afternoon. This one lands to the right. Mickey O'Connell now with another wide for Cork, and they've had 12 very costly wides. And against that, Clare with just 7. So Pat Ryan from Sarsfield's into the action, linking up there with Mickey O'Connell. But Clare trying to use their physical strength to overwhelm Cork's challenge. That's Pat Ryan there, the number 21. John Redden in there, number 18. 2 men have just come in the last couple of minutes, and they are demonstrating, I suppose, a little bit of the frustration of having to sit on the sideline and wait for your turn to show what you can do. Dickie Murphy about to throw the ball in. Should be between 2. Never is. Back by Liam Doyle. Now Gilligan in towards David Ford. 2 Cork players converge on him. John Brown gets it away. That's Colin Lynch, the leader now for Clare in midfield. It's left behind there to Neil Ronan. Nobody able to get a challenge in, but Ronan has taken too many steps with it, and it's going to be a free out for Clare. And Alan Brown, I've just noticed, coming into the action, about to give a little slip of paper to Dickie Murphy. Well, this is what happened just a little while ago. Ronan tapping it onto a stick, then taking far too many steps with it, about 6 or 7. And the player who's gone off is Neil Ronan. So changes late in the match to try and turn the game either Cork's way or Clare's way. This free about to be taken by Anthony Daly. Will he be lifting the cup once again here in Semple Stadium? It's taken away by Donald O'Cusack. You've got to go back 5 years, you know, for the last time that Clare lost a championship match here in Curlis. Timmy McCarthy taking it at Daly. Still McCarthy. And the final shot gets no reward. The cheers are Clare cheers, because they have seen their side get to within a point of the challengers from Cork. Well, another missed opportunity at the other end. It's Fergal Ryan who's discarded the green helmet. Up towards Timmy McCarthy, and the back's just standing back from him, allowing him the opportunity to knock it in if he can. Towards John Redden. Now Gilligan contesting with Brian Corcoran, not as dominant in the second half at all. Tapped across here. Barry Murphy trying to dispossess Sean O'Halpine. He's been one of the Cork stars, and he's fouled, and it's going to be a free out for Cork. A look of bewilderment on Barry Murphy's face. Well, it has to alarm Cork at this stage as Clare have put the pressure in that Cork have only one score in 20 minutes play, nearly 21 and a half in the second half, yet they're still in front. Just. Diarmuid O'Sullivan to take this. Fergal McCormack back in towards a central role. That's forward by Mickey O'Connell. Knocked ahead by Alan Brown towards Ben O'Connor. Support play was there. This is Alan Brown, brother of John, the cornerback. Great block down by Daly on Timmy McCarthy. And John Redden is back there to knock it away towards Danny Scanlon. And the shoulder here not deemed to be fair on the part of Fergal Ryan, because it was straight into the front of Danny Scanlon. Both men ending up on the ground. Well, where was the shoulder executed? Well, the referee has decided it wasn't a fair shoulder, but it did look a fair one here. It looked like he made contact just as the point of Danny Scanlon's shoulder. Both men have needed attention. Scanlon's back in the action once again, and it's Ryan has come off second best in that clash. And he's got a yellow card for that, and I must say, looking at it here, it did look like he got his shoulder on the other man's shoulder. That's the legitimate target. But it's the referee's decision that matters. Anthony Daly from Clare Castle. The most successful captain ever in Clare hurling. Chance to knock it in here. Chance for Clare to draw level. That's Gilligan beaten by Wayne Sherlock. And the pressure remains on the Cork backs. Strange kind of second half in that Clare have come back very strongly indeed. Hit over a lot of scores. To date they've got 6-1 really, the second half score, which shows the dominance of Clare. Still they trail. At the end of it all, the object of the exercise is to lift that cup. Well, the injured player going off is Ollie Baker. Let us hope it's not too terribly serious, because it's either a quarter-final or a semi-final coming up very soon for Clare, and they could not afford the absence of Baker. Colin Lynch has taken over the duty of Ollie Baker. He's made a good job of it as well. Inside towards Ronan O'Hara, still at full forward. Out towards Barry Murphy. Chasing after him was O'Halpine, and that has dropped into the left of the goal, and it's gone wide. Barry Murphy has shown us in this game he's a very hard worker, always trying to close down the backs and never make it easy for them. This was the opportunity that presented itself when the ball was lobbed back in here, and Donald O'Cusack was coming out, keeping an eye on it, the umpire right alongside him. Well, Cork are also warming up Kevin Murray, just in case he's needed. Meanwhile, the man who's in just ahead of him is Alan Brown here, hand passing it inside. They try to get a scoring opportunity here. Mickey O'Connell, nicely forward here towards Ben O'Connor. And Ben O'Connor finally gets another point for Cork. It's his first of the match, but significantly he's opened up a 2-point gap in what is a very tight match. And also coming in just a moment will be Conor Clancy, after we look at that point in reprise once more. Ronan O'Hara has gone off the Clare team, so a fresh man in. Kevin Murray is also into the match here, number 22 coming into the forward line for Cork, and Shawnee McGrath, for the second match in a row, makes way. So a much changed formation for both teams for the remaining 10 minutes of the game. Again, the pressure is on the Clare half-back line. Outside towards John Redden, whipped forward there by Kevin Murray. Still they come, still they go looking, and this time it's wide. Fergal McCormack had the final chance there. Big man who's moved back in to a more orthodox centre-forward position, and Sean McMahon, I'm sure, will be a bit happy to have that come about. That's blocked down there by Wayne Sherlock. Good work here by Niall Gilligan, looking for a Clare score, and he's put it over the bar. That's great play by Gilligan, and he just gets involved with an altercation here with Fergal Ryan, who has to be careful because he's already been booked in the game. Well, Niall Gilligan, as he was racing away that time, fired up, seemed to clash with Fergal Ryan, and Ryan has had his name taken. This is Gilligan. There was a hurley thrown. Gilligan gets his 3rd point of the match. Just a touch of the verbals from the point of view of the referee. Ryan will have to be careful. Well, the referee probably felt it was 6 of one and half dozen of the other. This is towards the number 23, who is Alan Brown. Into Joe Dean. Stopped. Back out once again. And in spite of the attentions of Brian Lohan, there was still an opportunity there for Alan Brown. 15 wides now for Cork. It's an alarming number, with still 8 minutes to go. Clare far less wasteful. Only 8 wides for them. The pressure on the Cork backs once again. O'Halpine getting it out towards Mickey O'Connell. Heading away. Up towards Kevin Murray, breaking it down towards Ben O'Connor. Enda Flannery trying to get the ball out, needing Sean McMahon. Good play by McMahon. Out towards Colin Lynch, now playing the remaining minutes of this match without his midfield partner. The sideline ball is going to Cork. Sean O'Leary down there, one of the selectors. Ted Owens as well, part of the backroom team. And Gerlach down there with his mentors, Sean Stack, Mick McNamara and Tony Considine, trying to hatch the plans that might ultimately see victory for their team. That's in towards Alan Brown. Comes back out towards Fergal McCormack, trying to round Sean McMahon. A very tight situation, stalemate really. The hand pass back here towards Ben O'Connor for Cork, and that has gone wide. The umpire to the right went back behind the post, took up a very good position, and had a right good view of Ben O'Connor's shot. It was a tight situation, but O'Connor finally got that ball back. Umpire well positioned. Beautifully caught here by Wayne Sherlock. Well, he is one of those newcomers, but he has simply grown measurably in stature in this particular contest. So still very much anybody's final. Daly hitting it in. John Brown can't take it. And again, the referee having to blow the ball up on the 65-metre line. 6 minutes to go. Cork won 12, that's 15 points. Clare 14. Will it be victory for the champions? Or can Cork get back the crown? Wayne Sherlock hit nicely into space. What a great catch by Liam Doyle. But then hand passing it back towards Brian Lohan, putting his own man in trouble, and Ben O'Connor is scampering around here. Enda Flannery was needed for the shoulder. Lohan was wondering where the ball was, and back to help once again is Liam Doyle, making amends for what was his own error after a wonderful piece of handling. Colin Lynch waiting at the end of the pile-up here. So once again, following that full-blooded all-action piece of work by players in both teams to take possession, it'll be a throw-in, but that was almost a very wasted or wasteful pass back. That's Alan Brown, lobbed in there. Frank Lohan fumbles, Joe Dean has it, Timmy McCarthy's available. Here's McCarthy, and the shot wasn't on target. He hasn't scored this afternoon. He's hit some pretty poor wides, it has to be said. Davy Fitzgerald taking the puck out quickly. 5 minutes left. Wayne Sherlock once again. He's had a great match. Sean McMahon never does anything wrong in the Clare colours. That's set up by Alan Brown towards Kevin Murray, and again it's Brian Lohan. And a great hand pass outside to Liam Doyle. Great combination by the Clare backs. Now can they get the scores that they need? They're stopped here by Brian Corcoran. What a finish to the game we're getting here. Not the highest scoring match we have seen, but full of drama, full of commitment, full of excitement. Diarmuid O'Sullivan to take this free. 4 minutes are left. The champions are behind by a point. It's driven into the large parallelogram, and it's got in there by Alan Brown. The hand pass to Murray when he had the chance to have had the shot himself, and the chance has gone a-begging. Well, it was a great piece of work by Alan Brown, but then perhaps he thought he was going to be hooked, and Kevin Murray hadn't a chance. Davy Fitzgerald. Clare having had a replay last year in the Munster final, a replay in this year's semi-final. Now they come looking, and it's a great piece of work again, this time by Fergal Ryan to deny Barry Murphy, but it spills out towards Niall Gilligan, looking for the equaliser. Back towards Ryan once again, blocked out again this time. On it runs towards Conor Clancy, inside as well as Alan Markham. Markham is dragged down, there's a free in for Clare, and here's where they can draw level. What a finish. Absolutely remarkable. That was Alan Markham there, and John Brown was clearly in trouble. But great work just before that by Fergal Ryan to deny Clare, and also by Sean O'Halpine. And this is taken by David Ford, and it's gone wide. Can you believe it? A 20-metre free for David Ford, and they're the happier ones. But there are about 2.5 minutes still to play, plus perhaps some injury time. Remember, Ollie Baker was down injured. Donald O'Cusack to take this puck out. Now the pressure back on Clare. That was a glorious chance for them to get level. It's a free in. Sean McMahon looks at the referee. The decision is going Cork's way. And Mickey O'Connell, 5 points in the match so far. 2 frees, 165, 2 from play. And he is leaving this one to Joe Dean. Dean, the scorer of a goal and 2 points, feels it's within his range. He's put it over the bar. Cork have a 2-point lead, and now the champions really are in trouble. It may have taken Cork a long time to get their points in the second half, but now they have a lead of 2 points. Will that be enough to see off the champions of the last couple of years? Kevin Murray has misdirected this one, and he's put it wide. Davy Fitzgerald wants to take the puck out quickly. 2 minutes remain. 2 points between them. Clare needing a score. Sean O'Halpine taking it by all and sundry. That's broken down there by Kevin Murray, expecting to get something, but Brian Lohan has done well to bottle him up and to make the chance very difficult. Joe Dean's on the ground, and it's a free into Cork. Enda Flannery with a shake of the head. Daly was close to it as well. But this is what happened here, as Flannery deemed to have pushed Joe Dean. 113, that's 16 points. So 16 to 14. A minute to go. Dean hits it well, and he's hit it over the bar. He's got a goal and 4 points, and Cork lead by 3. And now it's going to take a Clare goal, I think, here to deny Jimmy Barry Murphy's men. Clancy's got it, knocking it forward here towards Colin Lynch. Clare need a goal, stopped by Fergal Ryan, picked up again here, laid outside once more towards Colin Lynch. Inside, Scanlon is waiting for it, and Ryan's there once again. Tremendous work by defenders on both teams. Wonderful hurling. Gripping excitement. Cork with 34 scoring chances. Clare with 26. But Clare still have time. We're in injury time at this stage. Here's Colin Lynch. A goal is needed by Clare to save their crown. It's lobbed in towards Clancy. It's batted out. David Ford, who missed a free earlier on, which would have tied up the game. This is in towards Alan Markham. The backs group well. They try to keep their men out. Still there's a chance there, and it falls to Brian Corcoran, and Corcoran lifts the siege. Out it goes towards Mickey O'Connell, and it's up towards Ben O'Connor. Frank Lowen, the one who's nearest to him. The mentors down on the field, encouraging their players to give one last effort if they can. O'Connor can, and O'Connor has put it over the bar. Surely now, it's Cork's crown. This is Ben O'Connor. This is where he got his second point, and it was a beauty. Cork looked like taking back the Munster Cup for the first time. It's all over. Cork have taken back the Munster Cup for the first time since 1992. Dickie Murphy terminating a gripping encounter. The champions have lost their crown. They go into the All-Ireland Series at the quarter-final stage. Cork have beaten Clare, their semi-finalists, by 115 to 14 points. Well, for a long time it was looking like Clare were going to turn this around very, very successfully. But they have won it back, and Jimmy Barry Murphy must be an absolutely elated coach.
And Jimmy Barry, congratulations.
Thanks very much, Kieran. Great victory. Played very well in fairness.
What does it mean for you, this success, this Munster Championship title?
Well, it's great honour for the county, especially played for the supporters. They've waited a long time for it, and we're delighted to be back in Cork's winning Munster Championship.
You had a superb finish of the game, but in fairness to Clare, they came back at you in that second half.
Great Clare team, great sportsmen. Threw everything else in the second half. They're minus James O'Connor, who's a huge player for them in fairness. And they're an outstanding player.
You've waited a long time for this. Cork has waited a long time for this. Can you go all the way?
We can, of course. I mean, every game, one game at a time now, but I mean, we're thrilled to win the Munster Championship. That's the first step all the way.
You did it yourself. Do you think this bunch of players here in charge now can do it?
Well, it's a long road yet. I wouldn't say that. We've an awful long road to go yet. But the players are showing great attitude, and once we maintain that kind of improvement, we'll have a chance. It's a long way to go. It's a very hard one.
I know you want to celebrate with them. Congratulations. Thank you very much for talking.
Thanks very much, Kieran.
Yes, and the Cork fans who travelled in enormous numbers here. It's a long time since I saw so many Cork fans supporting their team. They're back as champions, but Clare could have another say in this yet. Don't discount them in this year's All-Ireland. They go into the quarter-finals, and the final score with that celebration everywhere around the field. Donal O'Cusick celebrating, this man Cyril Kavanagh celebrating as well, and the scoreboard still reads Cork 115, Clare 14 points. This once again the goal that set up Cork towards the end of the first half. I think no question about it, McGraw was in the field when he played it back. There'll be questions about the positioning of Joe Dean. They won't care. They won't give a tuppenny care, because they'll go home to all parts of County Cork celebrating the downfall of the champions, magnificent champions, but Clare, remember, are still in the All-Ireland Series. It'll be some series. Well, the fans are coming on in their numbers. The Clare team, full credit to them for making it such a battle. And they have played, as always, like champions. There were times when they found it difficult, but we're about to see the presentation of the Cup. Sean Kelly there, the chairman of the Munster Council, taking the mic. Christy Cooney's over there as well. He's the vice chairman, a Cork man. And Diarmuid O'Sullivan leaving, not Diarmuid O'Sullivan, rather Mark Landers. Diarmuid was captain last year. This week, this time, it's the turn of Mark Landers.
The Munster Trophy will now be presented by Sean Kelly, Tahira.
Just making sure that the old mic works.
Clare listening to Bill. The volume reduce, or make us a Colonel, Dustin Ford Nicolair, a Blackport, the Crane, Guinness, Moon, in Lena. The Clay, Untertaging, August Fleece, Luta, Albura, the volume fashion, Salter, Kerwin, or Nutran, Puffer, and the North Good Hor, the Honey and Shannon. Ladies and gentlemen, Cork are back. And it's not for the B&B. When Cork come with such a young team, they come to stay, and we wish them very well. But let us pay tribute to a gallant Clare team, the outgoing champions, who have entertained and enthralled us over the last number of years, and have been the best value for money in the British Isles. Well done to Clare. Today, they had to give best to a young, vibrant, enthusiastic Cork team. And we look forward to Cork and Clare contesting the replay in the All-Ireland final. Finally, my thanks to Guinness, who sponsored this competition. They have shared their assets, both liquid and financial, with us. And now, without further ado, it gives me great pleasure to present the Munster Cup as champions of Munster to Mark Landers, the Cork captain.
Sean Kelly makes the presentation. And Cork are back as Munster champions. First time since 1992. First time they've beaten Clare in the 90s. And the captain takes the cup, takes the salute.
So there you have it then. Cork are the Munster hurling champions. Of course, next Sunday it's the Leinster final, and then after that we will have the draw then for the All-Ireland quarter-finals. But today has indeed been Cork's day. OK, we will have the man of the match from that in our later programme tonight. That's on the Sunday game at 9:30. We'll also have highlights of Galway versus Sligo and the game up in Ulster as well between Derry and Armagh. However, that's it for now. Well, it's been a hectic day of Gaelic Games activity here on RTÉ Television, and there's plenty more to come later on. Hope that you can join us for that later on. We will leave you with the results of the day in Gaelic Games. In Connacht, it was Galway 117, Sligo 7 points. In Leinster, Meath 113, Offaly 9 points. That was our first live match today. And up in Ulster, that was the way it finished between Armagh and Derry. A 1-point win for Armagh, 110 to 12 points. Now, that's confirmation of the game that we just saw. The Munster hurling final, Cork 115, Clare 14 points. Cork into the All-Ireland semi-final. Clare will have another day in the quarter-finals. In the minor matches, in Ulster it was Donegal 210, Derry 112, a 1-point win for Donegal there. Wexford beat Kildare in Leinster 111 to 11 points, and a good win for Mayo over Roscommon 119 to 2-4. And in the Munster minor hurling championship, the first game at Thurles, it was 113 for Tipperary, Clare 2-7. All right then, as I said, that's it for now. Hope that you'll be able to join me later on tonight on the Sunday game. For now, bye-bye.